Hey Woodturners, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan in the shop. A recent YouTube I put out had a hollower, the snake hollower. Been about 500 or 600 guys looked at it, or woodturners looked at it, pardon me. And I've heard from a lot that said, hey, send me the layout, but I don't have a welder. I really can't build that kind of equipment. Well, I remembered that when I built my first one, I had my welder, but it had been wet. After Hurricane Katrina flooded the shop, it had gotten wet and it didn't work right. So I still wanted to build this, and I figured out how to do it with bolted connections. So my very first one was a bolted connection. I found some 1/4x3 flat bar in the scrap pile at my local steel supplier. I bought a 5-foot piece for about $5. He was glad to get it out of the pile. I came home and cut it with a jigsaw and did my 2 pieces here. And then I needed to get them together. So at that point, I took a piece of the 1-inch heavyweight bar that I bought at the steel supplier. This is 1 inch by 1 inch, 20-foot length, and you get about 6 or 7 hollowers out of it. And I took this back to the shop and I put it in place for the corner that where I have this tube now. But I bolted 2 bolts staggered here, and they were just 1/4-20, and then 2 bolts down staggered, then they were just 1/4-20. And that made my brace for the bottom. Put the 2 pieces together. So like a corner block when you do cabinet work. Then at the top, I did the same thing. I just bolted it in place, got it right. Again, 2 bolts coming through, and then I drilled a hole that be plumb straight through it for the 3/8 strong bolt that I use for the arms. Now, that gave me my base. The bottom of the base was done with, the bolt was just a bolt and a washer that fit up in a ways of my lathe, or a piece of flat iron or whatever. If you don't have to weld, and you don't have to weld that piece, there's a product called JB Weld that'll hold that in place because it's just to keep it from spinning. So this worked really good. Also used the JB Weld when I put this arm in place. Yes, the back one. I need the top of it flush so that when the other one passes, let me get all this out the way. When the other one passes over the top of it, I got full range. So that one again, I just drilled it for a 3/8 inch bolt. But this time, I came up from the bottom and I put JB Weld in it to hold it in place. Yeah, and it worked well. And then I sanded it off, or ground it off. What did I do the grinding with? The grinder met with the hurricane also, so I got my belt sander with a 36 belt. Yeah, it worked great. Now, I drilled a 1/8 inch hole at the corners, followed by a 3/8 inch hole, tight, brand new bit, for here and here. That was simple. That's just the arms. 2 here, 2 here. And then to put my first cutter in, which was a 5/8 inch Ellsworth rod with the angled in a straight, because I hadn't come up with these other ones yet, I just drilled a hole in the end. And then I tapped it on the side. Took a little machining work, but you know, it took me about 3 hours to lay it out, work it out, and bolt it all together before I was cutting. I don't have a lot of patience or time in my life to do anything else. So it had to go quick. So if you can't weld, there are ways around this. Yesterday, explaining it to somebody, the guy said, "Oh, I put my tube on with 2 U-bolts." U-bolts? He said, "Yeah, I found them at the hardware store with a flat plate on the bottom. I put it on the 2 U-bolts, and then I JB welded these 2 studs." It's amazing what woodturners will do in order to make things work. So just because you don't weld doesn't mean you can't make your own snake hollower. If you want to make one, ask for the tips package at this address right here. And I'll be glad to send you the entire layout and directions on how to build it. And if you have a friend at an automotive place or a welding shop nearby, you lay everything out, clamp it in place, and bring it over there. We're talking 5 minutes of rod burning or wire burning. And if your friend's got a wire feed machine, make a deal. You buy the steel, he does the tacking. Yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. Just trying to save you a few bucks. This is a sweet little hollower. They're out there by 10 or 12 different names. This is not a copy of anybody's work. I saw one working on a YouTube and said, I can do that. Guess what? You just saw one working on YouTube recently. You can do that. So get out in the shop and make one. Oh, wait. In a minute, I want to show you another great one. It's a tip of the day. Can't beat it. But I got to go get the stuff. Stand by. The tip of the day. Did you build one of these cutters? Square stock with the square cutter or round cutter or the diamond cutter or one of those. Did you build one of those and you've noticed that when you do hollowing or when you do a plunge cut, the shavings seem to come right back in your face? Of course you're shielded up and you got your smock on, but it's a little bit of a bother, right? And you've seen some of the other ones on the market that had a shield. And you thought, hey, how can I put one on Captain Eddie's Easy Cutter? Easy. Yeah. All you have to do is stick it on there. Ha! You didn't know that was coming up. Take a look at this and get back in on it again. This is the bar. This one happens to be 1/2-inch bar stock. Mild steel. All right? This is my shield. It's a piece of 1/8-inch plexiglass, and this one's stuck on a piece of corian, and it sticks right on a piece. Now, this is a secret I don't share with a lot of people, but I managed to magnetize these 3 little dots, and, well, really, I did magnetize them. I bought this at K&J Magnetics. These are some 1/4-inch rare earth magnets. I drilled a 1/4-inch hole right there, and I pressed them in. No glue, anything. I just pressed them into the corian. And I could have used a piece of Cocobolo or Wingay or wood and put it in there. But this clips right there. Yeah, how about that? It's not below the bar. Nothing to interfere, nothing to move. This is the magnet that I had holding on with. Nothing to interfere with when you're making your cuts, going back and forth. No shroud, no collar, nothing. And if it's in your way, you pull it out the way. When you need it, you snap it on. How about that? I mean, can you beat it? This came to me in one of my thinking siestas. I'm having a better name for naps all the time. But I was wondering how to make a collar that wouldn't get in my way. All the other collars I've seen and made were proud of the stock. They stuck down and you had to allow for it and hold the tool rest back. Hey, there's no allowances with this one. It doesn't get in the way. I cut this piece of plexi out of I think it was a scrap of something I did a long time ago. But I checked at Home Depot this morning, and you can get a 5x7 for about $2.69 without a coupon or a sale price. And all I did was cut the plexi. I use corian. If you know me, you know I like it because it's stable. I cut a piece out, I drilled it and tapped it over here, put 2 1032s in there to hold it in place. And then I notched it to go around a bar so it lines up every time right in the same place. This has gotten a lot of shavings thrown at it the last couple of days, but it hasn't done anything. It hasn't fallen off. It might have vibrated a little bit, but I'm just trying to keep the shavings from plowing me in the face. So if you've made yourself an easy tool and you like it and you want to look into a shield, that's it right there. Now, if I've made a round one, I'm still working on that. I haven't given up yet. But this is the best I've come up with yet. And you guys wonder why I don't go get this stuff patented. You know why? Because I want you to build it for free. That's what it's all about. Go on, make one. This is the best siesta I had in a long time. Yeah. I mean, idea. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm making shavings. I don't know about you, but I'm making shavings. And they're not hitting me in the face today. I do like that.